The last time is now. We've been saying it for the last 12 months, but it's really, the last time is really now. Tomorrow is December 13th, and it is John Cena's final match in his WWE career. This is Jack O'Hara Wrestling. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Remember to comment down below, like and subscribe on the YouTube channel at Jack O'Hara TV over at the O'Hara and Friends YouTube channel. Remember to also comment, like, and subscribe over at Straight Shoot Unfiltered. Steve Teschk and I putting out daily content here at the end of 2025, bleeding into the new year of 2026, which is going to be a ton of content, WWE related, AEW, TNA, NXT, whatever you have it. We got you covered this year over at Straight Shoot Unfiltered. We're talking about the end, ladies and gentlemen. It's here, John Cena's final match in WWE. Didn't think we were going to get here this fast. It was January 4th on Netflix in Los Angeles yesterday. We blinked, and it's already December 13th. And John Cena presumably is going out on his back against the guy that a lot of people didn't want him to face. And that's Gunther. Gunther retired Goldberg back in July. It looks like he's going to retire John Cena tomorrow night in Washington, D.C. Maybe there's celebrity guests that are going to be in appearance. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of celebrity guests in appearance. I was thinking more of likes of, President Donald J. Trump, potentially Vince McMahon. I know Stephanie's probably going to be there. Triple H is probably going to be sitting out there. Nick Khan's family, the TKO board members. Who knows? Maybe Dwayne's there. Maybe DJ shows up for John Cena's final match and makes an appearance. Will there be run-ins during this match? I mean, John Cena, in my opinion, we got everything. He squeezed out everything that we could have possibly seen from John Cena over these last 12 months. We saw a heel turn. We never thought we were going to see that. We saw the match with Randy Orton. We saw the match with CM Punk. We saw the match with AJ Styles. We saw multiple matches with Cody Rhodes. We saw him main event his final WrestleMania. We saw him win his 17th WWE World Championship in the main event of his final WrestleMania. Logan Paul got a lick with John Cena. R-Truth, and hell, John Cena even brought out a side of R-Truth that we never thought we'd see again. Ron the Truth Killings came back for a little bit because of heel John Cena. John Cena brought out the best in a lot of his opponents. I mean, the match with AJ Styles is top 5 match of 2025. If you ask just about anybody in the dirt sheets, his match and his build-up with CM Punk was probably the most entertaining promo work that he's done all year long. The pipe bomb that he cut on CM Punk, mentioning Claudio Castagnoli, mentioning Nick Nemeth, mentioning Matt Cardona, who all work for different companies, and then hell, Matt Cardona returns as Zack Ryder during the Last Time Is Now tournament. Nick Nemeth returns as Dolph Ziggler in the Last Time Is Now tournament. So John Cena influenced a ton, and he's going to influence even more tomorrow night on Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. at Capital One Bank Arena, because WWE is facing off against NXT. It's WWE superstars versus NXT superstars. We're seeing the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Cody Rhodes taking on the NXT champion Oba Femi in a one-on-one champion versus champion match. Who the hell thought we were going to see that before Friday Night SmackDown last week? Cody Rhodes challenging the winner of Ricky Saints versus Oba Femi. Oba Femi obviously getting the NXT title back from Ricky Saints. I almost thought Cody Rhodes versus Ricky Saints made a little bit more sense given their history. Would have been cool. AEW homegrown versus AEW founder. But nonetheless, we're getting the future of WWE and Oba Femi against the guy, Cody Rhodes. A lot of people suspected that maybe John Cena would even go out on a limb and face Oba Femi, face maybe, an Ethan Page in his final match, but we're going to get the guy that we kind of suspected was going to be John Cena's final opponent. Gunther, like I mentioned, he retired Bill Goldberg. He won the World Heavyweight Championship from Jey Uso after losing it to Jey Uso at WrestleMania earlier this year. He had a fantastic Match of the Year candidate with CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of SummerSlam Night 1, losing to CM Punk. He then disappears for a couple of months before he re-entered the fray in this Last Time Is Now tournament, putting on classic after classic after classic. Javon Evans versus Gunther was a great match. Gunther versus Rusev was a great match. Gunther versus Solo Sikoa was a great match. And then ultimately, Gunther versus LA Knight in the main event of Friday Night SmackDown last week. getting LA Knight to tap out to a submission hold. And now Gunther has the golden ticket, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy that the WWE is going all in on Gunther being like this almost Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago character in WWE, or just when you think everybody's going to get the proper send-off, when everything's going well in your career, here comes Gunther, right? Jey Uso gets Gunther to tap out to kick off WrestleMania Night 1 and win the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso, for the first time in his career, is a singles heavyweight champion of the world in WWE. He's been in the company for nearly 15 years, ladies and gents. Jey Uso's on top of the mountain. Who comes back 2 months later to kick him off that mountain? Gunther, by putting him to sleep and laying him out on his back in the middle of the ring in Phoenix, Arizona on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Goldberg wants a proper send-off. He wants a farewell match. Vince McMahon never gave me a farewell match. Well, Paul Levesque's giving you a farewell match. And who's it going to be against for the World Heavyweight Championship? Gunther. And what does Gunther do? He puts Bill Goldberg to sleep. And Bill Goldberg goes out on his back, and Gunther ends the career of Bill Goldberg. And now Gunther is back to once again put John Cena in his final match. It could have been anybody, right? If you were to predict John Cena's final opponent back when John Cena announced his retirement in Toronto back in 2024 at Money in the Bank, the obvious answers were Randy Orton, CM Punk. Maybe they work out a deal to get Adam Copeland, Edge, back in the fold for John Cena's final match, which is still out there. Maybe Edge makes an appearance. We don't know. We really don't know what's going to happen. John Cena could have gone out against anybody in the world. And I think that WWE and the WWE Universe would have been, content with it except for this guy. I mean, Gunther is a fantastic professional wrestler. Fantastic. His in-work capabilities, the way he tells stories during his matches, he is the Ivan Drago of WWE. He's not flashy. He's not the most entertaining wrestler of all time, but he kills dreams. He is the new legend killer. He is what Randy Orton was. Randy Orton is the legend killer, right? Gunther has a chance to retire 2, if not 3 guys in the same 12-month period. Bill Goldberg, John Cena. He could potentially retire AJ Styles in 2026. I mean, that's being rumored for far out into the future. I know AJ Styles is hanging him up within the next 12 months as well. Gunther is the new dream killer. And again, he's not flashy, he's not entertaining, but he does the job, and he's an old-school traditionalist when it comes to in-ring performance. And that's something we haven't seen in a WWE ring since the 70s, the 80s. It got flashy, man. It's backflips. It's backflips off the top rope. It's all of these different moves that, performers like AJ Styles and Bryan Danielson and Seth Rollins brought into the fold. I mean, Will Ospreay nearly killed himself. Darby Allin could paralyze himself in the ring in AEW, but it's entertaining, right? Gunther ain't that. Walter wasn't that, and now Gunther has not been that, but he's been that guy that it's like, oh, this could just crush our dreams right now, and then the screen's going to fade to black, and they're going to cut to the Paul Levesque Lee Fitting graphic, right? Gunther isn't boring, but he's also not the most entertaining wrestler, and that's why WWE fans don't necessarily love this move by Paul Levesque. If we saw this at WrestleMania, I think a lot of people would have been disappointed. But I'd rather have that match at WrestleMania 41 for the world title between Cena and Gunther, with Cena chasing the 17th World Heavyweight Championship, than it be his final match. Because Gunther was gone for 2 months. There's no story here. He just won a tournament, right? And now Gunther is primed and ready to send John Cena off on his merry way, presumably by putting him to sleep in the middle of that ring on December 13th. So Gunther's getting the final rub against John Cena. John Cena gave us everything that we could have asked for in this retirement tour, except the one thing that fans wanted to see that just wasn't in control of WWE, and that was one final match with the rated R superstar Edge, arguably his greatest rival in WWE. John Cena's gone on a lot of podcasts over the past couple of weeks, ladies and gents. He's talked to Sam Roberts. He talked to Chris Van Vliet. He talked to Joe Rogan, first appearance on Joe Rogan Experience. He talked to Bill Simmons on The Ringer. John Cena has given his greatest rivals, of course, Randy Orton, of course, CM Punk, of course, Edge, Seth Rollins getting his dues paid a little bit, saying that Seth Rollins is up there with Shawn Michaels as the greatest in-ring wrestler that he ever wrestled. Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins, 1 and 2, you know? AJ Styles a distant number 3, and whoever else you want to put in that category, Randy Orton, CM Punk, what have you. John Cena has always said that he does not book his own matches. He's not going out on his own terms. He wanted to wrestle over 220 appearances in 2025, but the WWE only needed him for 36, and John Cena would have been gassed if he did a 220-match schedule. I mean, LA Knight, I believe, wrestled the most matches this year, just over 70 for WWE in this calendar year of 2025, and that was considered workhorse. John Cena's like, we used to wrestle 220 times a year when we were doing live events 5 days a week on top of Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views. So John Cena wanted the full schedule. He wanted to take the whole year off from Hollywood, from making movies, from making films, from doing appearances. But they gave him 36 dates, and he squeezed the most that he could have out of those 36 dates. Match of the year candidates with AJ Styles, with Logan Paul, a great match and build with CM Punk, a great match and build with Randy Orton, a great match of the year candidate in the street fight at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship, where he officially passed that torch to the white-meat babyface Cody Rhodes. If you ask the average fan on the internet if it was the perfect farewell tour, absolutely not. And John Cena even said it himself on Bill Simmons' show during that interview. He loves the fact that it wasn't perfect. You take chances in life, ladies and gentlemen. John Cena took a chance by turning heel. Greatest heel turn we've seen in the last 30 years. Top 3 moment in the history of professional wrestling, period. Turning on Cody Rhodes and joining The Rock and Travis Scott. Now, it didn't end the way you wanted it to. The Rock didn't show up anymore. Travis Scott didn't show up anymore. It didn't conclude the way it was supposed to, and I don't know if we're ever going to find out how it was supposed to conclude. John Cena ain't saying shit. Paul Heyman didn't say shit on Ariel Helwani's show. The Rock hasn't said shit. Paul Levesque's not saying shit. No one's saying anything about what that heel turn was supposed to be and what the conclusion of that story was supposed to be and where they were supposed to get with it, with John Cena and The Rock and Travis Scott and Cody Rhodes. So that's something that we can hold on for in the future if he ever decides to leak that information. Maybe on WWE's next season of Unreal that's coming out in January of 2026. The only thing that we can say for sure is that we didn't get John Cena versus Edge one final time. We didn't get John Cena versus Chris Jericho one final time. Out of the control. They don't work for the company. The other big match that we didn't see in rivalry from Cena's career was John Cena versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, I hope he's making his way back. I know he had successful neck surgery back in the spring, leading up to WrestleMania 41. Hopefully he's on his way back. We truly don't know what Kevin Owens' future holds or if he's wrestled his last match or not. The John Cena versus Kevin Owens is another one of those matches that we wish we could have seen one final time. John Cena's final match, I think a lot of people put on a pedestal because he is the greatest of all time, a 17-time world champion, the face of WWE. You put him up there with Hulk Hogan and John Cena are the true people in WWE history where you don't have to be a wrestling fan to know who those two guys are. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin, some people who have never even watched a lick of professional wrestling might not know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is. Well, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock as well because he transferred over into sports entertainment in Hollywood. Those are the 3 guys people know for certain. You don't have to be a wrestling fan. You know who those guys are. John Cena transcended the business and carried the company in arguably its worst era, in the PG era. There wasn't much going on in that era, ladies and gentlemen. Between 2007 and 2012, 13, 14, 15, it was dry. It was stale. There wasn't much legitimacy in the WWE. They were catering to the 9-year-old kids, right? John Cena carried that torch with pride, with dignity, with hustle, with loyalty and respect. And then we got to see a rated R John Cena in 2025, calling a kid fat, telling the kid's dad that he's a loser. John Cena cutting that pipe bomb on CM Punk was something that you wouldn't have seen in 2011, 2012, 2013. And we got the bulk of what we were going to see from a heel John Cena between March and August. And then from August to December, we've kind of gotten like, well, what else do you guys want to see? The stories were told in the first half of this tour. The story of getting to the main event of WrestleMania and wanting to be WWE champion for the 17th time in his last WrestleMania. I have to accomplish this. How am I going to get here? I'm going to sell my soul to The Rock, kick Cody Rhodes in the nuts, Now we're off to the races. Heel John Cena is going after the title. He wins the title. Now you tell the story of John Cena to Cody Rhodes. How is it going to emulate to getting Cody Rhodes his championship back? Because we kind of thought that's what was going to happen at the end of the day. Originally, if all went according to plan, my hypothesis on this is that John Cena was going to be a heel during his entire farewell tour, and he was going to not drop the WWE Championship till his final night on December 13th in Washington, D.C., in Boston, wherever they were going to have the show against Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes was going to win it back in John Cena's final night, with him threatening to leave the company with the WWE Championship the same way CM Punk did to him at Money in the Bank in Chicago in 2011. We didn't get that, so the story of John Cena and Cody Rhodes over the WWE Championship, you got to tell multiple stories within that story, right? John Cena and Randy Orton, John Cena and CM Punk, John Cena and R-Truth, John Cena teaming with Logan Paul against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. But eventually you get back to John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, and you get the match at SummerSlam that you wanted to see at WrestleMania 41, right? And then the back half is, John Cena not just putting people over, but putting them over during the match, and not necessarily the finish of the match, because John Cena won a lot in this back half of 2025. He actually won quite a bit. He lost in the Royal Rumble match. He won the Elimination Chamber. He won at WrestleMania. He won at Backlash. He won at Saturday Night's Main Event. He lost at Money in the Bank. He won at Night of Champions. He lost at SummerSlam. He won at Clash in Paris against Logan Paul. He won at Crown Jewel against AJ Styles. He beat Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. And then he loses to Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. And in between then, he won a 6-man tag team match against the Judgment Day with Sheamus and Rey Mysterio. So John Cena, what is that, 9-4, 10-4 on this farewell tour? He's won a lot. We kind of got the return of Super Cena during that heel run, and even in the back half, beating Logan Paul, beating AJ Styles, beating Dominic Mysterio, before having another Match of the Year candidate with Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series with the return of Liv Morgan and the Judgment Day there. So the way that this is ending isn't necessarily like the culmination of a huge story. It's not the culmination of like the greatest moment of this entire tour, and we haven't seen it yet, so we don't know what the match is going to entail. I know John Cena wants to put over a lot of the young talent and a lot of the young NXT talent, and that's what the show's mainly going to be about, WWE versus NXT. Gunther is 38 years old, I believe. He's on the brink of 40. He's not necessarily a spring chicken. He's not the youngest guy on the roster, but he was in NXT for a while, and he is someone that WWE considers to be the future because he is a very safe wrestler. I know he got hurt over the summer having a nose injury in CM Punk, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to tear his ACL, right? He doesn't do a lot of stuff off the top rope. He doesn't do any flips. He doesn't do any of this charismatic shit. He's here to punch you in the face. Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face, said Iron Mike Tyson, one of the greatest boxers of all time and WWE Hall of Famer. Gunther's that guy. Just when you think everything is going well in life, here's Gunther. John Cena is getting his flowers on his way out. This is a sentimental night for him. It's going to be an emotional night for him, his loved ones, his peers, and Gunther's just going to kick his ass. I think that's what's going to happen. But maybe we see some run-ins. Maybe we see the return of Chris Jericho. Maybe WWE and Tony Khan formulated a plot to get Edge to Saturday Night's Main Event for one final spear from Edge to John Cena. Who the hell knows? Maybe Tony Khan was lying when he was on Ariel Helwani. Maybe he said WWE never contacted us just to throw everybody off the bait, and everybody was like, see, it's not going to happen. And then everybody just gets stunned at Saturday Night's Main Event. It's still possible. It's still possible. But John Cena versus Gunther on itself, I know isn't the sexiest choice for WWE. John Cena Sr. apparently is going around saying Gunther should have been John Cena's final opponent. He's like a fan. He's like the rest of us on the internet wrestling community. And John Cena's like, what the fuck are you doing, Dad? Why are you on the internet? You went on Joe Rogan and it was like, why is my dad doing this? But I love him for it because he's a fan. He's a fan of the product. He wants to see the best match possible for his son, for the best possible way to go out for John Cena. You know, Shawn Michaels took out Ric Flair. The Undertaker took out Shawn Michaels. AJ Styles was The Undertaker's final opponent. Randy Orton was Triple H's final opponent. Triple H was Batista's final opponent. Gunther was Goldberg's final opponent. And now Gunther is John Cena's final opponent. Whether you like it or not, the last time is now. It's here. They're pushing Gunther. Gunther is going to beat John Cena in his final match. I'll be stunned if it goes any other way. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Is this the right choice by WWE? Is there going to be a surprise tomorrow? Are there going to be any swerves? Or is this just going to be a great back-and-forth wrestling match between two of WWE's best, the greatest of all time, John Cena, and the Ring General, Gunther?